Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Thursday, December 15th, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. And to anyone who is following over on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever, Spotify, welcome, welcome. Hey, Frankie, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well today. It is a beautiful day here in Southern California. Hey, Power Girl, welcome. Minnesota, welcome. Blunt Ninja, welcome. Hope you ladies are doing well today. Okay, so let me stop that. Oop, there we go. All right, so today's not going to be serious like yesterday. It's not going to be serious like we did yesterday. Hey, Mike, Tampa Bay, welcome. Today we're going to have a little bit of fun. So it's Thursday, so we're going to do some Thursday fun. And I want to talk about Mama Said. What are some things that parents said to their children that still make you laugh or shake your head? And once again, my topics come from conversations I've had with people, um, things that we laugh about, get serious about, whatever. And this is one of them. And you ever, just things that especially your mom, things that your mom would say that you look at it now, and I mean, even then, it was funny. You shake your head, and you look at your mother like, really, like things like you'll put someone's eye out. If you keep playing with that, you'll put someone's eye out. Now, I'm not saying that never happened, but my mom was the type of person that if you trip and you run through the house and you tripped, or if you said boo, you better watch out, put somebody's eye out, and you're like, seriously? So what things did your parents say that sometimes they did it to scare you? Like around Christmas, if you were acting out, whatever, your mother or father would say, I'm calling Santa. I mean, seriously, you're gonna call Santa? Now, when you believed in Santa, you would, probably like, oh my God, Santa's not gonna bring me anything. But you look back at it now, and it's like, you're calling who? You're going to tell my father? You're going to tell grandma? So you're going to call Santa, so you're going to scare this child thinking they're not going to get any Christmas presents. Um, and then a friend of mine, when we were talking about it, said that her mother always said, because her room was always messy, clean that room or we'll get rats. And I just laughed so hard when she told me that. And I'm like, well, did you clean your room? She said, yeah, because I always thought that, that we would have rats running around the house. Now, I do believe, you better put stuff away because you'll get ants or something like that, food left out, whatever. But clean the room or you'll get rats. That was just something that I just thought was I just thought that right there was just it was ridiculous and it was funny. Or the famous one, which I'm sure we still use today, don't roll your eyes at me. So, and usually you probably were usually directed at your mother. Your mother's bawling you out, fussing at you about something. You don't roll those eyes at me. So again, just things that your mom would say. Here's another one. You'll wake the dead with all that noise. Now, we all know when you die, you're dead. The dead cannot be, you cannot wake the dead. But just you know, just the similes and the metaphors that your mom used. You'll wake the dead with all that noise. Um, and sometimes it wasn't even a lot of noise. Well, sometimes maybe it was, but sometimes it wasn't. It's like again, you'll wake the dead with all that noise. All what noise? What am I doing that is so loud that the dead will rise? Um, and then again, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. You know, how many times did your parents say that? It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. So you're out there, you're roughhousing with your friends, until someone gets hurt. So I have to ask, not saying that no one got hurt. I'm pretty sure there were kids out there where some kids got hurt, but how many times did someone get hurt? So again, depending upon what you're doing, but again, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. Um, or how many times did your parents say while you were walking, you know, pick up your feet? I would say that to my son, like, would you pick up your feet? Because he would kind of drag his feet, while he was walking. I'm like, can you pick up your feet? Pick up your feet. So it's like, seriously. So once again, these are some of the things that your mom would say to you. Welcome, Hugies. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. I apologize. So, welcome, whomever you are. Welcome. So, yeah, just things that your mom used to say, and then when you never ate your food, when your food, you just kind of pick at your food. People are starving in India. It was either India or China. And I remember one time my mother said that. My sister said, "You've never been to India." Of course, that did not go over well because you don't give back a smart remark. But you laugh at it now. It's like, well, yeah, when was the last time my mother was in India? How do you know what they're eating or what they're not eating? So yeah. So, do you guys say anything to your kids, or did your parents ever say anything to you? Or, things that you probably say now, but may not admit. And then there's the close the door. You weren't born in a barn. Okay, so what does having being born in a barn have to do with anything? I mean, barns have doors. So are you saying that, you know, people don't shut barn doors? Or, I mean, seriously? Okay. Or I know you all remember this one. Don't sit that close to the TV, you'll get square eyes. Now, I used to hear that when I was younger. You'll get square eyes. Or, turn on some more light, or you'll be blind when you get older. I must admit, I have said that. I still say it. Because I do wear glasses. Um, so, either don't sit, and what are square eyes? I mean, don't sit close to the TV, you'll get square eyes. Are they saying you get square eyes because the TV typically is square or rectangular, whatever? So your eye is supposed to take the shape of the TV. I mean, back in the day, TVs were more of a circle. So, exactly what does that mean? You'll get square eye. You know, um, and what about the one about carrots? Carrots make you see in the dark. Okay, carrots will give you, carrots are good for your eyes. I mean, was that to make you eat carrots? If you didn't like carrots, I mean, and if you make a face, your face will stay like that. I mean, how many times did if you keep frowning, your face is going to stay like that. If you keep making those ugly faces, your face is going to stay like that. Now, will your face really stay like that? And I'd like to know how many people actually uh how many people actually believe their parents when they said that. I mean, did you really believe your parents when they said things like that? It was just so ridiculous. um Far girl says I did. Yeah, I guess we all did. But at what point did you start, as a child, start looking at your parents when they said something like that, and you just didn't believe them anymore? I mean, was it just so ridiculous? Was it the point where you grew out of believing in Santa Claus? Was it, I mean, your friends told you, when you went to school or whatever, oh, that's not really going to happen. Your parents aren't telling you the truth. I mean, at what point did you realize that this is something that isn't true? Was it someone told you, hey, Juju? Was it something that someone told you? But at what point did you look at your mother or father, and they made the comment about, if you make that face, your face will stay like that? At what point? At what point, do you look at your parents and say, "Come on now," or here's a famous one: "Because I said so." Now that is a term that just irks me. It has always irked me, because I would always ask my mother, "What does that mean?" Because I said so. You know, if if you tell me that the you know sky is blue, And I say, why? And you say, because I said so. Well, that's because I said so is not an answer. It's not an answer. What does that mean? Because I said so, or do as I say, not as I do. That's another one that parents use. Do as I say, not as I do. So you want me, you're telling me don't smoke, but you're smoking. You're telling me don't drink, but I'm watching you, down a case of beer every night. I mean, is that fair? Because why can't I? Why can't I do as you do? Now I know there are times when there are some things that adults can do that children can't, but a lot of times it's like, well, what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing. So why can't I do it? Okay. And here's another one that people have said. And I know that you guys have heard it. I know I still say it, and we all say it. Either back in the day or back in my day. So if you say back in my day, and then it's usually if something, we were complaining about something. Oh, back in my day, I had to walk, 5 miles to school with no shirt, no pants, no shoes, no hat, and it was 40 below zero. So not to say that there were, people who had to walk in the cold, may not have had very many clothes on in terms of keeping warm, warm coat or something, but it was always something. If you were complaining about something, it was always something that they would say that would make it sound really, really bad, like they had it really, 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 really tough. Not saying that they didn't, but it was always that over exaggeration. Crucible, welcome. It was always that over exaggeration where people, where your parents would say something in, when they would use back in my day. Back in my day, you guys don't want to eat your food, and they may throw in. That's when they may throw in the, you know, people are starving in India. It's like, seriously. Or the one, money doesn't grow on trees. You know, you ask for something, and your parents will say money doesn't grow on trees. Now money doesn't grow on trees. We know that, okay? But why was it money? Doesn't sprout from the ground, or money doesn't come out of the faucet. I mean, why was it money doesn't grow on trees? You know. And then here's the one where my mother had said this to me many times. Um, as long as you're under my roof, you'll live by my rules. And you really couldn't say much. I mean, to that one, it's like, all of a sudden it becomes your mother's roof or your father's roof. Before, I thought we lived as a family, and this is our house. But whenever you did something wrong, all of a sudden it reverted back to them. It reverted back to title, and it went back to whomever's house. It was your mom's house, your dad's house. It was no longer our house. It is their house. Or stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about. Okay. So let's say you got a spanking and you cry. Your parents are telling you not to cry. Okay, you're hitting me. It hurts. I'm going to cry. And as you're telling me don't stop crying, as you're still giving me the spanking, that you'll give me something to cry about. Aren't you already giving me something to cry about? I mean, aren't you already spanking me? So therefore, you're already giving me something to cry about. I mean, that's what I think, So, you know, and then again, if it's around Christmas, as you're crying, and they're giving you something that uh, they'll give you something to cry about. And if it's around Christmas or something, then they'll also throw in the one that I said earlier. I'm calling Santa. So when you just think about some of these things, it's like, seriously, you just go back and you just think about some of the things that your parents said in your childhood, and they're just funny, or they don't make any sense, um, or we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, now that's something that people still say. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Why is it a bridge? One thing to me, we'll cross that lake. We'll cross that river. You know, um, I mean, I know it's a metaphor, and it's usually for problems. If you have a problem, whatever. But why is it you're crossing that bridge? Why not just say we'll deal with it? When we have to. But why are you crossing that bridge? Why use that metaphor? Um, you know, um, so and then if you said a bad word, ooh, he said a bad word, ooh, she said a bad word. And what does your mom say? Now, this is something that my mother never said to me, but some people do. I'll wash your mouth out with soap. Okay. So some people, some children, did get their mouths washed out with soap. But exactly what does that do? Is that supposed to wash the dirty word out of your mouth? I mean, what does that mean? You're going to wash my mouth out with soap, because if you put soap in someone's mouth, they're probably still going to want to curse you because you put soap in their mouth. So exactly what is that supposed to do? You know, um, I just don't. Some of the things that they say, that when you look at it, what is that supposed to do? Because I don't know. Let's see. Minnesota says not damn. Oh, I think you're trying to say not a not a damn thing. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. Oh, so I mean, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Um, okay. And then you hurt yourself. You're running around outside, you're with your friends, you fall off your bike, you trip while you're skipping rope, you're running, whatever, and you hurt yourself, you hurt your knee, you hurt your arm, whatever. Your mother will say, you'll live, or um that doesn't hurt. Meanwhile you're crying, whatever. You have this scrape, which may or may not be that serious, whatever, but your parents are telling you, you'll live, or now that doesn't hurt. Like, excuse me, this is my boo-boo, not yours. It hurts. It hurts. um so And then we have the infamous, if you want to act like a child, I'll treat you like one. Okay. If I'm a kid and I'm acting like a kid, aren't you already? I mean, are you going to treat me like an adult? I mean, I'm a kid. So if you want to act like a child, I'll treat you like one. So I'm already a kid. So Oh, okay. You're gonna treat me like one. That's fine. Now if you're saying it to someone who is older, now I know that there are some wives who may say that to their husbands. You won't act like a child. I'll treat you like one because sometimes some men, do act like children. But for the most part, you're saying that to a kid. So yes, um, you know, so or when you pay the bills, you can do whatever you want. Now, first of all, I doubt very seriously if you did pay the bills that you would be able to do whatever you wanted in their house. Because don't forget, it's still their house, and you know, and you still have to follow their rules in their house. Hey, Shelby, welcome. You still have to follow the rules in their house. So when they say when you pay the bills, you can do whatever you want. Um, can you really? You know, and plus they know for the most part that you're never going to pay the bills. You are never going to pay the bills. Okay, wait till your father gets home. Now, that was a threat. Um, wait till your father gets home. Okay, so dad comes home. Your mother tells your dad what you did. More than likely, your father, is probably so tired or he just doesn't want to hear it, is going to tell your mother to deal with it herself. So, okay, wait till your father gets home. So, my mother said that to my sister and I a few times, but we all kind of laughed because we knew how my father was, and he would just look and say, yeah, okay, because he already knew that my mother already read us the riot act. So what's going to really happen when your father gets home? And I wasn't born yesterday. Okay, Mom, I know you weren't born yesterday. I know you were not born yesterday. So, uh, oh, sorry, guys. I'm trying to upload something. Didn't mean to click that. We know you weren't born yesterday. So I guess that's your parents' way of saying that whatever you told them, whatever you were trying to get away with, you weren't being slick. Because we all know that you weren't born yesterday. Um, oh boy. Or you'll be the death of me. Now, when you think about that, it's kind of harsh to say you'll be the death of me because if your parents did pass, and if you really believe that, how many kids really would have thought that they caused their parents death? You're driving your parents up the wall so much that you're going to cause their death. So and then for the last one that I have, uh well, actually I have a couple more, but I'll just go with this one. You all are on family vacation, or you're just in the car going to the market, or your parents pick you up from school, wherever you are, and your mother or father says, "Don't make me pull this car over." I've heard that. I heard that so many times growing up. Don't make me pull this car over. Okay, first of all, I can't make you pull the car over. If you pull the car over, it will be on because you chose to pull the car over. And then it was just that threat that if your parents had to pull over, that they were going to get out of the car, pull you out of the car, and you were going to get a spanking. I mean, that's the way I look at it. So all these veiled threats, these metaphors that our parents use, you know, um, did it change any of you? I mean, do you guys do anything different because of what your parents said to you growing up? I mean, did you stop sitting so close to the TV because you didn't want to get square eyes? I mean, did you guys do that? I mean, did you clean your room because you all didn't want to get rats? Or did you start eating all your food on your plate at dinner time because there were people starving in Africa and India? So are these things that you stop doing or you continue to do? You tell your kids, or you just look back and you just shake your head. Frankie says yes and no, and Crucible says children lack the requisite frames of reference to buck their parents' aphorisms. Well, um, I don't know, because children are pretty smart. Because again, when your parents are telling you something, sometimes you got away with it. Sometimes you didn't, or you're just saying it in your mind. It's like, again, like when my sister asked my mother, "When was the last time you were in India?" I mean, that was we went when we would eat dinner. You know, um, it was either me or my sister who didn't want to eat something, and we had to always sit at the table until we ate it. Of course, it was cold, whatever. But it was always there are people starving in Africa or India. What does that have to do with me eating? I mean, I understand that you're saying that you should be grateful, that you have this food, to eat. But, again, and when my sister said to my mother, it's like, when was the last time you were in India? I mean, come on. Oh boy. So you know, I'm just saying, or I've told you 1,000 times. Now, you want something? No. Can I? No. Would you? No. And you keep asking, hoping that one day your parents will say yes for whatever it is that you want. I've told you 1,000 times. Did they really? Did they really tell you 1,000 times? So I can see a kid saying to their parents, "You didn't tell me 1,000 times. You only told me twice, or you only told me, three times." I mean, kids, when parents say things, kids do come back with some good ones. You know, um, Stop eating that junk, or else you won't be able to eat your dinner. Now, that of course means that you'll be full and you won't be able to eat your dinner. You know, uh, but you have some kids who will eat junk and they'll eat dinner, and they'll eat junk some more, they'll eat dinner. I mean, so I, you know, so I do believe that kids do buck their parents. I do believe that you know especially like I said. Let's see. Shelby says my favorite was I brought you in this world. I can take you out. I mean, you know, and I'm sorry, Shelby. My mother said that to me And yes, she almost did take me out with my smart ass remark. Um, she said that to me once, and I think I was 10. And she said that to me, and I said, well, if you do, you'll go to jail. So, know, oh, I shouldn't have said that, but I mean, kids do. Hey, Dose, welcome. People do. I mean, children do have. They they don't lack. They know. They may not always say it. They may say it in their head, but they will say something. They are thinking of it. They do have a comeback for most of the things that parents have said. Hey, Shelby, welcome, welcome.
Now, I would have never said, that, but you know, I never got smart with my parents. But that's just something that stuck out in my mind that my mother always told me that.
So,
No,
so okay. So let me ask you: did you you may not have said it, but were there things that you thought?
I don't think I did.
Okay, all right. That is fair. That
Now
that
I can tell you a story. I was going to tell you this the other day, but I can tell you a story about my sister. I
okay.
don't know. I don't know what they were arguing over because I was like, I think I was 7 or 8. But anyway, they were arguing over something. I was in my bedroom, and we lived in a trailer when I was little. So there was like this hallway, and rooms were on like the left or right. Well, they were arguing, and my sister, she was very, you know, outspoken and a brave child. And my sister just proceeded to look at her and call my mother a bitch.
Oof, oof.
Well, my mother, she wasn't in the mood for that day, and she picked my sister up and knocked her clear across the length of the trailer. I was about to come out of my room, and there went my sister flying by in the hallway, and I was like, I think I'll turn around and stay in my room. So I mean, it that's just a story I remember, but it's every child's going to say something. I mean, my youngest and I got in an argument, and she wore glasses at that time, and I was asking her a question, and she looked at me and she said, "Now, is that answer enough for you?" And when you're in an not really an argument, but when you're talking to your children and they smart off like that, my first instinct was to knock her out. So, I didn't knock her out, but I hit her hard enough to where her glasses went one way and her head went the other. I'm not an abusive parent, but that just hit me the wrong way at that particular time. So I mean, kids
So
can
so
be.
kids so again, and I'm not talking about kids getting smart with their parents per se. I am saying that if you some of the things that you say to your children, um, like you said, your favorite was "I brought you in this world, I can take you out." Your kids may not say anything out loud. You may not have said anything out loud to your parents, but kids do have the smarts to have a comeback for something that I mean, like I said to my mother, I I'm just gonna say that I should not have said it to her out loud. I should have just kept it in my head. But when she said, "I brought you in this world, I can take you out," I told her, then you would be in jail. Kids do have, they are smart. Kids, when you say things to them, they they are smart enough. I mean, and again, I just say, think back to when you were a kid. You may not have said it because you were either afraid to say it or you knew not to say it. but your sister said it, or your brother said it, or the kid next door is is um is um is saying it. Um, my girlfriend that I was speaking with earlier today, when we were talking about, I told her what I was going to, talk about on the show, and when she said the whole thing about clean that room before we get rats, she said that she cleaned her room, whatever. But then when she thought about it, it's like, okay, so if I have a dirty room, are we really gonna get rats, whatever? And kids are smart enough to have a comeback. Kids are smart enough to have that comeback. So yeah. So, and Shorty says they do. I mean, so and again, I come back to the one where your parents will say, don't make that face, it'll stay like that. I mean, seriously, then you walk around with this face all day, possibly in front of your mother and father, proving to them that your face is not going to stay like that if you have that ugly look on your face. Hey, AGP, welcome. So you always saying yes, yes. So I mean, you know, which to me is like telling your parents, no, that's not true. My face is not going to stay like this if I, if I, you know, if I do that. Um, so once again, you know, but um, one of my favorite ones is especially um, you know, you'll wake the dead with all that noise. And children, again, are smart enough to know that the dead are going to remain dead, So,
Or they'll roll over in their graves.
yes, they're over in their graves. I mean, seriously. So it's like when you, again, just think back when you were a kid. Maybe when you were little, you may have believed this, but as you get older, your parents are saying that. You're like, sometimes that smart remark leaves your lips, and you end up saying it. Sometimes you're saying it up under your breath. But it's like you're still saying it. Kids are still kids are still saying it,
Yeah.
and Shelby, and again, you have said the type of child that you were, and the type of child that your sister was. See, I was more like your sister. So I was more like your sister. And again, I say, when your parents said to you as they're spanking you, stop crying, or I'm giving you something to cry about,
Something to cry about.
you're already getting something to cry about. So in a child's mind, you don't think that they're thinking this. They don't think that, well, you're beating me,
Yeah,
or you're
right.
spanking me, or some people like to use the word beat when it's, spanking, but whatever. You are hitting me. So hello, you're already giving me something to cry about.
Right.
So so again, I say, kids may not say it, but they're going to think it.
Well, my sister would have been the one to say, well, what do you think you're doing?
Yes. I mean, yes, or if you're walking around with that pencil and you're playing with that pencil, you're going to poke somebody's eye out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I haven't seen anybody's eye roll on the floor yet.
Or don't run with that in your mouth. You'll choke yourself.
Yes. Yes. Shorty says I say that a lot. I mean, there's just so many things that when you think about it, and if if your child says something back to you, yes, it is a smart remark, but at the same time, I think it's also saying, to me, kids are saying to their parents, or you said to your parents, or whatever, that was a really dumb statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really dumb statement, because that's not true. you know,
Yeah.
I mean, so okay, Shelby. So since I have you up here, did you ever say? Because this is something I have never said to my child. It drove me crazy when I was younger because I said so. Did you
Yes.
see? That was just something that I said I would never say that because I think it's such a stupid statement. I mean, it's like, what does that mean? Because I said so. I mean, because if if especially if they're asking you a question, and usually you say that because you don't have an answer.
My kids were always, well, why? Why?
Exactly. Why?
Why? Why?
So
And they got that from their dad. I can ask their dad something, and he would be like, "Why?" And that drives me up the wall. Don't sit there. If I ask you something, don't sit there and ask me why. Just give me an answer.
and
But
this
they
is
would
and
always ask me why.
but this is the whole thing. So get an answer. So that's why I don't like because I said so, and then Jordy says my daughter will say something like that, and my son does that, I mean, but why? I mean, I think children, I truly do, I truly believe children deserve an answer. If you are going to tell them something and they ask you why, especially, I'm not saying, it's your turn to wash the dishes. No, don't say, or if you say go wash your dishes, why? Because it's your turn, or
Right.
because you need to wash the dishes. Tell them why they need to wash the dishes. Just, I mean, because I said so. I mean, I think that kids deserve an answer. Just like if you're at work, Shorty says, I tell them why. He still has
And
why.
they still ask why. Right. My kids are like that too, Shorty.
Oh, Shorty's coming up. Oh, that is funny. That's funny. Hey, Shorty. Oh boy. Shorty, you there? Okay, she's probably getting her mic together.
Yes, how you
Okay.
doing, y'all? I
Hey,
was getting my
Shorty.
headphones together. Yeah, my kids do that all the time. I tell them why. I tell them to go do something. Why, mom? Why? Cause I said so. I tell them to do it, and then they get aggravate me, and then I say, "Get out my face," and then they still sit there and do the same thing.
Well, maybe you should give them more of a definitive answer, like, maybe uh, give them a little bit more depth to why the why.
I do solid. I do. It's just my daughter and my son. They sit up there. They love to try me, and I'll be like, "Look, get out my face and go do it." And then they'll sit up there think I'm playing, and then I'll be getting mad. And then I have to cuss at them and then tell them, "If you don't go do it, you ain't gonna watch this." Okay, mom, dang. I want to throw a
Yeah.
shoe at them so hard. I don't know what to do.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, I see. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. I mean, because and I say that and I do know that kids will try you, but I always think back to how many people had a boss that they would tell you to do something and you would question it, and they would really give you an answer like, well, why am I doing this? Especially if you thought that it was a waste of time. You know, um, uh, so again, I come back to kids should get an answer, and I understand, Shorty. I totally get it. Kids will try you, try you, try you. So, can I ask, in terms of dishes, you said it's just your daughter and your son. Do they take turns doing the dishes?
Yes,
Do
but
you?
then sometimes I come and then it be half washed and I have to redo it. And then I
Okay,
tell them you can't do it like that. And I tell them to redo it. And then why, ma? Why?
so when they take turns, is it by day or is it by week?
That's an everyday chore. If
No,
I
no,
cook,
no, no, but no, but what I'm saying is, do they like? Does your son have to wash dishes one day, then your daughter watches them the next day, or is it by week? Like your daughter watches them this week, your son watches them the next week, like that, or do they wash them together?
sometimes they do it together to get it over with. But they take turns.
I mean, but is
It's
it but
to
is
take
it
turns.
by day or is
Oh,
it
by
by
weekly. Oh, by week, by
okay?
day. Sometimes it all depends on what it is.
Okay, okay. No, the reason why I'm asking is because if you told them to do, and this is just me, and this is just my own friendly advice. If you told them to do it by week, so that they know that this is their week, and you stick to it, and you enforce it, by their week, and you tell them if you do a half-ass job, you're going to do them again. You'll pull every dish out of the cabinet and they'll have to wash it, whatever. But again, by week. And the reason why I say by week is because the one who's not doing dishes that week, it will appear to them that they're getting a week off. I mean, they are, but it'll look like, oh well, I don't have to do dishes this week. If they do not do the dishes correctly, tell them, you know what, your sister is going to have another week off from the dishes, and you're going to do the dishes for a second week. That might make them do the dishes, get their week over with, do them correctly, so then they can have their little week off for, not having to do dishes. Does that make sense?
That do make sense, but you know what? But I tell them if they don't do it right the first time, you have to do it again. And then if I have to come back and then do it over again, if I have to do it, oh y'all ain't watching no YouTube, y'all ain't doing this. Y'all gonna come home, do your homework, and take a nap. You just gonna be bored.
But
They'll get it together.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. Because see, my mother, she used to pull. I mean, she literally would pull every dish out of the cabinets, pots, pans, everything. And she would say, "You didn't want to wash the dishes correctly. You're going to wash all of the dishes." And boy, we were slamming. And if you slam one more dish, whatever,
Oh my
and we would
goodness.
have to do it. And and that right there, I did that once. My sister had she went through that twice. We got it together. When it was my week, I did it. It was her week, she did it. And the person who did not have to do dishes for the week had to empty all the trash in the house and take the trash out. So we had to go around every day making sure that all of the trash was empty. So Shelby, did you say
My
something?
biggest, yeah, my biggest thing, my son had to do dishes. That was his chore. And my biggest thing was my how my sink was is the counter. Well, most people, your counter is like kind of like a L shape
Mm-hmm.
from the sink to the stove.
Mm-hmm.
My kids thought that whatever was on the stove, they had that peripheral vision. If they didn't see it, it didn't have to be done. So they couldn't see the stove, so therefore they didn't have to do it. So whenever they done dishes, what was on the stove, they didn't do. So I would have to call them back. You left what was on the stove. There wasn't nothing on the stove. Oh, so I guess these dishes magically appeared with junk in them. So it was, it's just, kids will be kids, I guess, but they just, and you learn real quick. Boys don't like doing dishes.
No,
They
no,
don't.
no,
They
no,
don't.
no, they don't because they think that it's a woman's job,
Yeah.
but
Tell my son you gotta clean up because once you get your own house and you get a female, she ain't gonna want no dirty person. Just like I
Uh-uh.
told my daughter, vice versa. You gonna have to learn how to cook, clean, and everything because you gonna have to do it by yourself if the female don't want to do it.
Right.
Well, see,
And
I think that men should know how to cook anyway. I think that men should know how to do a so-called, which I hate people saying a woman's work, and I also think that women should know how to do what men do. Because I mean, because you never know what might happen. If you're driving down the road and you have a flat tire, whatever, you may have to change that tire. You may not be in an area um where someone's going to be able to come change that tire, and then at the same time, you may not want to sit there waiting. If you're in an area that's kind of sketchy, you better change that tire, put and then keep on going.
right.
That's right, Solid. Because I know how to change the tire, know how to change the oil and everything, and the belt on the car if it messes up.
Yep.
You gotta learn. You gotta teach your kids all that because that's survival mode.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Right.
So
Right.
so I mean, I don't know, but there are just so many things that parents say to their kids over the years that your parents have said to you. You just look and you just, you just shake your head. But another, like I said earlier, a big one in my family or with my mother was don't roll your eyes at me.
Girl, yes.
Oh yes. Roll your eyes if you want to. They're gonna get slapped right out your face.
Right out of your face. That's right.
Oh boy. But it's so funny because okay, let's say you roll your eyes again at your mother. And you said and Shorty, you said that your mom said, they're gonna get slapped right off your face. Okay, let's say she did
Yes.
slap you. Did your eyes really get slapped off your face?
No, they just got slapped in the back, and then I closed my eyes, and then I died for a couple of minutes, and then I came back to life.
I'm just saying that when you
And then don't have the aunt sitting right there. She gonna beat your butt too, just for disrespecting the sister, and that's your aunt. Oh no, you definitely gonna get it whooping 2 times in a row.
this is what I'm saying. Hey, Black Cabinet over on YouTube, if you're still there, hello. I'm just saying that how many people when you look at what your parents have said, if you take it literally, it's pretty ridiculous. And even stuff that you say to your kids, if you look at it in the literal sense, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, it really is. I mean, okay, and again, I go back to people are starving in India or people are starving in Africa. It's like, have you ever been there? How do you know? Seriously, how do you know? So again, it's like, yes, we have used them as parents, whatever, but it's still just really seriously,
Or have you had this saying before from your mama? I'ma slap the taste out your mouth. Keep talking back if you want to. I'ma slap the taste up out your mouth.
Okay, now, Shorty. Okay, let's talk about that one. I'm gonna slap the taste out of your mouth. Okay. My first reaction would be, because I was a smart butt growing up. I was the one that talked back more so than my sister. And my mother said that to me a couple of times. Now, I never said this out loud to her, but I did say it in my head. How do you know what I'm tasting? I mean, again, so again, I didn't say it to her, but it's in my head, and when I, and a lot of times when you say things back to your parents in your head, and you don't say it out loud. That's usually when you're rolling your eyes.
Right. I did that to my daughter one time. She said something smart. I said, keep talking. I said, watch who you talking to. Ain't your friends. And then she said it again. I said, what? I said, I'm going to slap the taste out your mouth. Keep playing. The bubble taste, but I cussed that too. And then she walked off. I said, what you said? I ain't say that. She walked off. She thought I ain't here. Going down the stairs in the hallway. F you. I said, what you said? Bah. She just looked at me like, I'm like, you want to fight? Jump. Fall if you want to leave. They get mad. Like, yeah, you ain't think I heard you, huh? Yeah.
Well, of course, your parents always had, especially your mother, uh, always had
Bionic
that
ears.
mother hearing.
Bionic
Yes,
ears. Oh yeah,
yes,
the bionic ears.
yes,
Think you
yes,
said something under your breath?
yes,
What you
yes,
said? You like, dang.
yes, yes, yes.
I got one. I got one.
What is that one?
Um, my mother always told me, she said, "Now I can see what you're doing because I got eyes in the back of my head."
Yes, yes, that one right there.
And then once again, it's like kids do have the wherewithal to come back and either say it out loud or think it. No, you don't. You do not have eyes in the back of your
Right.
head.
See, my kids, they'll say that. My son and my daughter, they'll say that. No, you don't. What am I doing right now? And I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
And they just move. I said, you're moving. They're like, turn around. I said, and they doing it again. I don't know. How you gonna say that then? Just get out my face. That's all I tell them.
All right, and then one of the threats is um, don't make me come in there.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean? I mean,
That means
I know what it means. I'm just saying, but in the literal sense, Shorty, what does that mean? So if you, don't make you, how can I make you do anything? And again, I'm just looking at it in the literal sense. So Shorty, if you tell your kids, don't make me come in there, and your son said, I can't make you do anything. Yes, it's a smart remark, but isn't he right?
yes, he is right, but then you don't want that smart allegorical response that gets you more pissed off, and then you gonna get up. What you said? You be like, yeah.
Seriously, and but one thing that I think really is funny is when you got hurt, and I was saying this I think before you guys came on, but when you got hurt and you fell off your bike, you fell down, you skinned your knee, whatever, and your parents are going to say to you, "Oh, you're okay," or "That doesn't hurt." How the hell do you know? I'm crying
That's
here.
true.
Seriously, but they're like, "Oh, you're fine." Seriously, I'm sitting here crying, and you telling me that I'm fine. You tell me that doesn't hurt. Or
my
they
husband
want to
likes
blow
to
on
say,
it.
my husband likes to say, "Well, I didn't feel a thing." Yeah. But yeah.
So this was just a show about the things that our parents said, mainly our mom, and things that we still say in childhood. In adulthood.
That you would never catch yourself saying.
But you still end up saying it to your own kids, and you don't even think of it. But then until you sit there and think about it, you're like, "Damn, my mama said that to me, and I'm saying it."
Yeah. Here I am saying it to my kids.
Okay, so
Right.
Now this is one that I say to adults more than I said to my son. If your friends jumped off a cliff, are you going to follow them?
Yeah.
Yes, I say that to my kids too. I say it to both parents. I say it to the adults.
Seriously, because it's like on one level it's funny, but then on the other level, it's like you are. I think if any saying should be repeated, I think it should be that one in terms of a learning thing, because it's like, are you seriously going to do everything that your friends are doing? Are you seriously going to listen? And again, I say it to adults more now than people saying it to kids, because are you really going to follow this person? Are you really going to listen to them? It's like, to me, if any saying, that's one that I think has merit. You guys agree, disagree, or?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's the biggest one right there.
So and then I'll end with one last one. What part of no don't
You
you
understand?
understand?
I say that a lot, Solid.
What part of no don't you understand? And me with my smart mouth, my response to that one time, and I was on the floor after I said it, the N and the O. I mean,
That's where it comes back to. They still gonna ask that question. Why, Mom?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, like, what part
Why?
of no don't you understand? But so if your kids are saying, um, you're at the market and they're shopping with you, and I think one of the worst things you do is go shopping with kids, and they and
Oh
they're
yes.
and they're asking, can I have, can I have, can I have, can I have? Okay, and you're no, 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 no. Would it be better to say no because we can't afford it, even though you can? And do you want to say that to your kids where they'll think that you don't have things because you can't afford it? So is that like a negative? Like, should you not say something like should that not be the answer? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, in our house, it was like a given, because my mom, we had this, there was a show on this once before, something about, your parents would sit you down before you go into a store and said, don't ask for
Mm-hmm.
this, don't touch this, don't do this, don't do that, you know. So that's what our mom would do,
Well, I mean,
you
our
know.
our mom would do the same thing. And Juju says I would say to my son, "What part of the English language do you not understand?" And yes, you do have the parents that do tell their kids, and their kids know when you get into the store, don't ask for this, don't ask for this, don't ask for this. But what about those parents who don't tell their kids that, or they do tell their kids, but their kids still do it? Do you knock them out? Do you start yelling? Because I don't think that I should have to go through the store yelling at my kid, telling them no, 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 no.
Our
So,
parents had a look,
okay, so
especially my dad. My dad had a look,
Like that
once
look
you
will
got
kill
that
you.
look,
Mm-hmm.
so
if you
why
still
okay, so
done it.
why do some kids respond to the look or respond to that talk before you get out of the car? But other kids, we see them in the store all the time, yelling, screaming. They're in the shopping cart. I want this. And they're like, no, no, no. Is it the delivery of the parent, or is it just that your child
It's
just
the
has a heart?
tone.
I think,
It's
yeah, I agree
sometimes
with
it's the
Shorty.
tone. Yeah, it's the tone. Or the kids who want to sit up there and still want to try you. You gotta have to do a little bit extra. Pinch them when they in the store. I told you, no, just pinch them on the side, or just a little head, a little slap in the back of the neck. They'll be all right.
But why? Okay,
Yeah.
but why are I guess my question is, why are some kids? Why you have to go? Why do you have to go to the next level? I mean, because I had a smart mouth growing up, but at the same time, when we went into the store and my mother said, "Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this," I didn't do it because I knew what would happen if I did. So I guess, Shorty, what I'm saying is, why do we have to go to that next level? Like, why do some kids not get it before you get out of the car?
I, I, I guess I would say it depends on the age. I mean, a little older, the children has more respect for their parents than to embarrass them in public. The smaller they are, they just don't understand,
But
you know.
I don't know if I necessarily. I don't know, Shelby.
Mm-mm.
Hey, Dee,
Mm-mm.
welcome.
My daughter's 11. She still act the same way. They ain't the age ain't nothing
I
but a
don't think
number.
the age has
That
anything
ain't
to do
nothing.
with it, because there are some
Nothing.
kids who are like, toddlers, and they are well behaved. And then you have kids that are 16 and they're still, I mean, so is
Well, maybe
it,
their parents don't have that look. They
True.
need to go stay with my
That's
dad
true.
for a week or two.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Right?
mean, because we all know, you're right. Some people have the look, and
I
some
did.
people don't. I mean, I have had kids come over my house to play with my son, and they would totally act out in front of their parents. But when they got around me, and like you said, I gave them that look, they were well behaved. And then when I sent them back home, they turned back into the monsters, whatever. But they were well behaved because they knew you don't come in my house acting like that. Mm-mm. I'm nope. Mm-mm. So you're right. You're right about the look.
They probably don't have that structure like that at home. The
Right.
mom
That's
probably be like, they be like, go sit down somewhere, and then don't even enforce it. You know what I mean?
right. And
Yeah.
That's
if they're
the
anything
difference.
like my oldest daughter, if you yell at her, she like shuts down. You can't yell
Oh
at
no,
her and
not my daughter. My daughter, my mini me. I know some of y'all probably heard her. She just like me. You know what I mean? She ain't gonna tolerate all that. But with me, But anybody else, who you talking to? Like, mm, mm-mm. No, she don't shut down. She'll get back with you.
Well, hey, crazy lady, welcome. Well, once again, it's like, how many times do I have to tell you? Or I've had it up to here. So, but anyway, guys, that's the show. Thank you guys for coming. Today is Thursday, which is my Friday, and Shelby and Shorty, thank you for popping up.
You welcome.
Oh, and by the way, as you in Crazy Town said, when I come on y'all show, don't be solid serious. So y'all, I'm saying right now, y'all go on their shows, be solid serious. Oh boy, no, I'm just kidding, Shorty. I'm just kidding. So, but I am tickled, Shorty, that you popped up. And Shelby, I know you always have
I'm
something to
having
say.
fun. I love your show. I love your show. It has fun.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So, everybody, with that, I am going to leave you guys with. Hold on for a second because I was trying to do this when. Hold on for 1 second. Let me make sure I have it. I didn't do my due diligence before the show. Wait, hold on for a sec. I didn't. I know what song I want to play. Okay, there it is. All right, hold on. Just leaving you guys with some uplifting music, some fun music. Unlike yesterday, I know yesterday was, as Juju said, it was funeral music.
I liked yesterday's music.
Thank you.
Grooving with it.
I didn't think it was, but it was a serious show yesterday. It was a quick show. But this is called Happy Swing. So that's what I'm going to leave you guys with today. So, again, enjoy your day or weekend wherever you are in the world. And I will see you guys somewhere on Podbean over the weekend, or I hope to see you guys on Monday. And that's it, guys. Excuse me. That's it. So I hope to see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye.
You too. Bye.